But there certainly is an aspect to development that can hurt people or hinder them rather than help them. And unbelievably, that is when you give in ways that can actually cripple people. Bob Geldof addressed a conference in Ireland. I think it was back in about 2009 or something like that. And he was speaking about the tragedy in East Africa. And when he started out his aid to East Africa, he said, we must do something, anything. And 20 years later, he spoke about how all of the giving that went into that part of Africa actually plunged the country further into poverty, or the countries further into poverty. And that was because they'd been helped and then they were just waiting for help. And at this conference in Ireland, he addressed all these young, aspiring people that wanted to change the world just like him. And he said the problem was, it wasn't that they didn't have food. The problem was that they didn't have money to buy food. So he was certainly going down the road of getting people skilled up to do what they could for themselves, to bring themselves out of poverty by creating income for themselves. And SPA's taken the same approach in that it's not just about giving to people. It is not just about buying things and taking them over there. If indeed we buy anything, we make sure that we buy it in the country. That way it supports the economy of the country. You start to take in things like clothes or, equipment for water or whatever that happens to be, no matter how innocent that giving might seem, no matter how well-intentioned that giving might seem, you can actually be crippling somebody's livelihood by bringing something into the country. So SPA, in its endeavours to broker development within the Solomon Islands, has been to support the economy of the Solomon Islands and perform projects that actually then lead to further development in the community. One example has been the Areta district, where we installed water, which gave water to the clinic, which made for a better functioning clinic, which then saw 2 classrooms built and a community centre. The government then bought in a mill for them to be able to cut materials to build more administration and staff houses, etc., etc., etc. So it was the precursor to a major change in the area, a place that was housing 30 people that became a major centre of influence, servicing thousands in the district. And that, in one aspect, is the essence of development. Thanks for listening.